Well, welcome back to our channel. For all the newcomers, we are a family of 5 travelling throughout Australia full time and capturing the adventure along the way. There's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. And this week, we're putting the new truck and vacationer caravan over the scales. If you think you would like to tag along the adventures, be sure to hit the subscribe button to be notified of upcoming episodes.
Welcome back to another episode, guys. So, something exciting's happening today.
Yes.
Well, sort of exciting.
Long overdue exciting.
Yes. We are actually getting the truck and van weighed.
We are. Currently in Sydney, aren't we?
We are.
And on that note, it was so hard to find a spot to weigh this thing.
Yeah.
Because of the such a high GVM on it. A lot of streets in Sydney have load limits, we've found out.
So we couldn't go down many roads. That's the only issue, but we're not city people, so...
Yeah. Anyway, in my hands, little paperwork, all the engineering for the truck, the van. We have got the van weighed before, but since that weighing, it's been upgraded. So we're going to see how that goes and see how much the truck actually weighs.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, a lot of like misconception out there. Just because it's a big vehicle doesn't necessarily mean we're under the weights.
No, it doesn't.
Because let me tell you, the bigger the vehicle, the more stuff you pack in it. Anyway, we're going to run through some of the specs on the truck and the van now, and then wait for Roland to come, and he's going to put the scales down and tell us if we need a bigger truck.
Or a big boat, or...
Anyway, here's some specs. Alright, we'll start with the truck specs. Now this is a 4x4 Isuzu NPS, and out of the box it has a gross vehicle mass of 7.5 tonnes, a gross combined mass of 11 tonnes, a rear axle weight of 6 tonnes, a front axle weight of 3.1 tonne, and a max tow ball weight of 450 kilos. Onto the caravan, it has a revised set of specs with a tear weight coming in at 2.7 tonnes and an aggregate trailer mass of 3.8 tonnes with a mass tow ball of 450 kilos.
You getting nervous, big fella?
Yeah, a little bit. Once you start crunching the numbers and all that in your head. So, yeah, I just know it just doesn't matter how big your vehicle is, you still can be over.
Oh, it's all getting set up. Nick said to me, what do you reckon? Do you reckon we'll go over? I have no idea, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he's just setting up, and then, sorry, I think I just hit you. And then are we going to run through it? Yeah,
and then we'll run through why you should get weighed, and then how we're going to weigh this. And then we'll see what it is. Alright, this is Roland from Takeaway, and you operate out of North Sydney?
North Sydney.
He's going to be weighing this for us and telling us if we need a bigger truck, bigger boat. But I just want to ask a few questions. Why weigh something big like this?
Well, it's a big truck, no doubt. We've got 7,500 kilos of mass that you can have on board here. But it doesn't just come down to the overall mass of the vehicle, you've also got to worry about your axle weights as well. And that's where scales like this come in handy, because you can get a pad under each wheel of the vehicle, and we can make sure that while you're unhitched, the truck is good to go over each of the axles. And then when you're hitched up and that caravan's applying all that extra load to the rear axle, that it's clear there as well.
Another reason, like why should people just get weighed in general?
You want to make sure that you're not overloading your vehicle for probably 3 reasons. The first is that it can add increased wear to all the components in the vehicle.
Yeah.
The second is that it might not stop as well as you'd like it to in the event of an emergency. And the third is that it could become unroadworthy if it is over what it's rated to be allowed on the road.
Yeah.
And that one has some pretty dire consequences, because if your vehicle is deemed to be unroadworthy and you have had an accident, your insurance might be void as well, because that's one of the caveats to having insurance on the road. Your car's got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
So if it's too heavy, you can come apart in about 7 different ways.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. So if you're overweight, have a crash, none of your insurances hold up, So the big difference between like a public way bridge and something like this is obviously they can split the wheel down to each wheel. Yep. But now, can you run us through how you're going to weigh everything?
No problem. So we will start with the van today. We've got the scale set up in front of the van. We'll pull it forward onto the scale so that we get each wheel onto a pad.
Yep.
And then we'll unhitch the van from the truck so that we can get the tow ball scale under the nose. Each of these scales is good to the nearest kilo.
Yep.
So we'll get a really nice, accurate left to right on the van, front to back, axle to axle, wheel to wheel. And then we'll pop these numbers into the report and we'll see how the tow ball is being represented as a percentage of the mass of the van. We'll see what the load's like on the front and rear axles, which is pretty important. And then after that, we'll get onto the truck. We'll do the truck with the van hitched up onto it so we can see what the load is like on the rear axle. And then we'll do it unhitched so we can see if the truck was over before or after. Look, we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
We'll see.
Cool, let's get to it and
away we go.
Let's go.
So, first off the bat is the van. Now the Caravan went overweight last time we had it weighed and has since been upgraded. It's a good point to make at this stage that the van and truck are fully loaded with water, food, firewood and gas bottles full at the front of the Caravan. And that's how you should take your setup when going over the scales.
Is it on, Ollie Lulu?
Beautiful.
What's your guess, big fella?
3.8.
3.8?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd be close on that too. I think I think that's a reasonable guess.
I hope that's what we can be. Alright, so I've got what we can be. The ATM of this Caravan now since upgrade is 3,879 kilos. And what are we?
Have we done it?
Today we've come in at 3782.
Yes! We're under by like 100 kilos.
That's right, yeah. So the van's rated to, has got another 100 kilos of capacity. And the other area on a regular vehicle that we need to be concerned about is what its brake towing capacity can be. So most passenger vehicles have a brake towing capacity of 3.5 tonne, which this van would be over, and it wouldn't marry up very well with a regular vehicle.
Yep.
But your lovely Isuzu here has a tow capacity of 4.5 tonne. So you've got about 800 kilos to play with there on that too.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing now, big fella?
Well, truck's turn. So we're unhooking because the scale's got a weight limit. We don't want to damage rolling scale, so we're just taking the van off. We'll do the truck first, and if it's under the limit of the scales, then we can weigh it all together. Now we just sit here and see how heavy we are, Lennox. Everyone guess what's your guess for the truck?
I have no idea. I don't even know like weights. I need to like brush up on these sort of things.
Yeah, I've done my figures. I reckon we're going to be between 6 and 6.5 tonne.
11. Lennox thinks 11.
11 tonne. It's pretty heavy. Anyway, we'll see what we've got. All right, this is the weight report. Now I'll put this, what we're looking at, on the screen so you can see it. And I'm probably going to let you talk about it because
No problem at all, no problem at all.
Yeah, anyway, let's go through our numbers.
Lovely. So on the report, I've got the compliance plate of the tow vehicle and what we've measured against it, and then a traffic light system of green and red if you're over or under.
Yep. And
the same for the Caravan sitting behind that. You'll be pleased to know that we've got the traffic light system is saying green all the way, so the weights are looking great, which is fantastic. So against a GVM of 7,500 for the truck, we've measured 6,574.
Yep.
And that's given us 926 kilos available in the truck.
Left, yeah.
Yep. And then we pop the tow ball onto that and we get a remaining mass of 615 left in the truck.
Yep. So that's an overall, like with the Caravan attached?
That's right, yeah. The truck's still got 600 odd kilo left in it.
Yeah, okay, wow.
The gross combined mass, which is just awesome in this truck. We've got an 11,000 kilo gross combined mass, and that's what the vehicles can be when they're combined together. So the truck and the van weighed 10,355 kilos against that GCM, so you've got 645 kilos spare.
Yep.
And they work really well together. So you've got a gross combined mass that's got 600 kilos left, and you've gross vehicle mass that's got 600 kilos left, and a gross combined mass that's got about 600 kilos left. So you can really use the maximum capacity of the truck, which is a really good combination.
Yeah.
The rear axle, like I mentioned, it's got a 6-ton capacity, and it measured 4.342 while it was hitched up.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've still got 1659 spare there, which is great as well. That means you can, once again, you can still use the entirety of that 600 kilos, even if it's all on the back of the truck.
Yeah.
So on the van, we've got the aggregate trailer mass, the ATM, which is the entire mass of the van. That is allowed to be 3879, and we measured 3781 against that. Okay. So you've got 98 kilos spare in the van, which should be plenty considering you've got a bunch of wood on the back. And the tow ball mass is in a really good measure for the truck. So it's got 311 kilos of tow ball mass. It's a bit low for the van.
Yeah. It's
still within the 8 to 12% guideline that we use in Australia. Most people aim for 10% being the middle of that guideline.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at that, and we'll have a look at how the axles measure against each other and see if anything can be brought forward.
Yeah.
I think once we remove that wood from the back of the van, we're going to see a different picture there, and that should bring it up to sort of around that 9% mark.
Yeah.
And that'll be a really nice balancing effect.
Yeah, yeah.
So the moral of that story is, when you do load your wood, if you load it into the truck rather than into the caravan, everything should be pretty nicely balanced.
Yeah. It's funny how like 100 kilos placed in different spots can change everything.
Absolutely everything, yeah, exactly, yeah. And particularly when we're sitting on this pendulum effect, or the seesaw effect on a caravan axle, that 100 kilos at the back of your van over a dual axle is probably taking about 80 odd kilos off the back of the tow ball, which is about exactly what it needs to be up around that 9-10% mark. So we'll get rid of that and you'll be apples. But that's a very nice minor modification to make. Most of the adjustments I see people have to make is a lot more major than that. So you've done really well. So the other area that we check in a caravan is how the axle loads are between the front and the back on a tandem axle caravan. The RTA define the balance of a caravan to have good balance when it's got the majority of the mass of the caravan in the front half of it, or the front third. And so I tend to look at anything between 50 and 60%. I prefer it around the mid-50s. So your front axle in the van has 1,849 kilos on it, and the rear axle has 1,621. That gives you a forward load of about 57%, which is lovely. So so you're getting a really nice push into the front section of the van. The idea of that is that when the van is driving behind you, you want it to be getting controlled by the rear axle of the car rather than trying to push over the top of it. You want to push down into it rather than trying to jump it.
Yeah, right, okay.
It helps all the brakes work together.
Yeah, awesome.
And I think that's about it. So you've got green lights all the way, pretty reasonable balance. It's a bit heavy on the passenger side of both vehicles. But you see that in a lot of vehicles these days. I don't think there's many caravans that come off the manufacturing line with a balance left to right. So you tend to find the kitchen side of a caravan tends to get a bit heavier. Or in your case, the side usually it's the side that's got the bunks on it as well. So you tend to have a few little working components there that will drive it one way or the other. What I would say is if you've got 100 kilos heavier on one side, if you do want to balance it up nicely left to right, you just move 50 kilos across the other side if you've got some mass sitting on one side or the other. We'll have a look at the wood for that too.
Transfer the wood.
You and your wood. And that's about it. So after that, I've got some recommendations that we'll put in the bottom of the report for you. And at this point in time, before I've gone right through the report, I'd say the one thing that just to look at is to shift that wood to a different area in the combination, and everything should be pickles.
Beautiful. Well, that was the outcome we were sort of hoping for.
Good. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, we were pretty happy with that outcome, and safe to say, Suzu Truck is staying in the family. Stick with us next week as we find hidden waterfalls and hang out with some friendly women. Bye for now.